Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to Adventures in the TARDIS with me, Quill, who is in the background, hiding as always.
Hello, this is everyone thanking you for being welcomed.
What can I say except you're welcome? I got a little bit of cold, so sorry if I'm gonna be coughing a bit. But we can't do anything about that. So, we are right near the visitor's place.
Yep.
The doctor is preparing something with his little sonic screwdriver, and we will see what is hiding in the darkness of the room. Because I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure there is no windows that are open.
Yeah,
Hey.
especially during the daylight.
Yeah?
Setting daylight by this point.
I mean, if I were them, I would have waited for the next day morning. It would have made much more sense. But here we are. Let's go in. Right now, I guess I know what I expected. But the tour room of the capital palace of Southern Arabia is extremely spacious and endowed with great opulence, such as white marble columns or white marble floors, shiny enough to be potentially reflective. But there is nothing to be reflective of at the moment.
Right.
What the rest might have been in there, though, is hidden by how dark it is. And then suddenly we hear a thump and the mark appears, and then the doctor says, "Fly, you fools." I can imagine something like that. It was pretty dark down there as well. Above, I do notice window shutters. I could have found a light to spill in. Even this happened, because an effective material in here could have greatly intensified the light in here. I suspect the acoustic of this room is a similar story. It too can be intensified, and that can not only eliminate any sound to intensify. Right now, the most noise any of us are hearing is our own hoofdrums as we enter our room.
Yeah, I actually do like the description of those first few paragraphs upon entering the scene.
Yeah?
In his internal monologue, the way he describes this, actually think it's a little bit poetic.
I imagine that they don't see too much. They see the first two columns right next to them because they open the door. Not because there is so much light. I mean, there can be light, and I'm pretty sure the visitor is not hurting by a torch flame.
Yeah, probably not.
We are assuming too much that, oh no, there is no light. Who said there are no lamps?
I think Nazir did have glow plug lanterns in his office, but so dim that it barely illuminated anything around it.
Yeah? From this moment, I am surprised by the architecture and decor of this room, because it feels so unlike me. But then I have to stop And to the right, that first of all, this is Saudi Arabia. This is one of the richest countries in the world, because my primary attribute as a nation is trade. I mean, yeah, and slavery. At this moment. I mean, that is trade as well, if you think about that.
Well, I guess so, but I wouldn't say it's primary. But if you're going to consider it part of the category of trade, that just enhances that word.
Yeah. We know what all the valuable goods are. It's even worse when we think about slavery, right?
Mm.
Because they are thinking of them as valuable goods. But it's fine. Seafood is gonna get back on the throne and he's gonna stop slavery with the
Most
new
definitely.
captain.
It was supposed to be illegal.
Yeah? And now they actually have, they will have the upper hoof. Because, yes, Game 1 is supposed to look the other way for now. But I'm pretty sure he's thinking notes where they are. And who the slavers are.
Yeah, he'll probably chase after them. As much as he once did to Swifthoof, except this time he'll be doing it seriously.
Yeah? And I'm pretty sure the slavers are not as nimble as him.
Or as nearly as combat trained. That was the thing about Grimwald. He survived the tournaments over and over again.
Yeah. I mean, I assume they first are gonna be like, oh, we can pay. Which will not work.
Nope.
It might have worked with the Vizier. We have the means to support them, wherever it is most profitable to go. We know the true value of that, which we trade, and we have the negotiating skills to set the best price for those items. And we have the negotiating skills to get all the money of visiting tourists, right?
Well, probably, yeah. Anything that's valuable, according to this story, the Saudi Arabians know how to capitalize on it.
Yeah. Combining all of this facts, of course, the throne room of our capital place would be designed to such a storage fashion. I mean, yeah, if the tourists came here into the palace for visiting the Sultan and they would arrive in a shack, they wouldn't be impressed.
Yeah.
Clearly, while I might personally prefer something more humble, I probably wasn't the one who designed this place. Yeah, that's probably the architect. It's that I inherited it from my family, but to work at it, we usually do our best to run it too. True prosperity for any nation takes effort to maintain. Oh yeah, I have heard so many horror stories of someone inheriting a lot of money and then in 2 or 3 years they have nothing because they can't maintain it. Just splurging and not putting anything away, not rolling it around. For the nation to succeed to the degree that it has in the past, most of its previous leaders had to care and put effort into their work, and I am no exception. With the state that the room is currently in, however, it is most indicative of the acting leader of the nation's recent times. It symbolically retained, and that Michelle on displayed. A room that tries to be as bright and acoustic as it can be. A room that tries to be openly inviting as possible, and yet now it looks like some poor tactical seal that's in the dark market. The shadowy mask covering his face. And if the message symbolic is now, oh, second thought, no, go away. I used to be writing, but I am not anymore. If you let me to trust my gods anyway, know what you do, so immortal fire. The shadows here, I many monsters. For your own sake, you better whisper while you are here. If you dare speak at all, and if your life depends on it. I mean, your life really depends on it.
Yeah.
At this point, the most light that appears in the room is coming from the hallway we just saw through. That too is symbolic of the coming changes. Finally, the light has burst through the front door of the shadow throne room. It is specifically challenged the rest of darkness getting here. I mean, the wizard definitely knows they are here. Might
yeah.
know about Shadow, yeah. I mean, he definitely doesn't know about Shadow because he's not here, but he might not know about Sweetproof, but he definitely knows about Celestia.
Very much so, yeah.
With that sort of way the maker of our entire world. No matter how thick the shadows are in here, Mrs. Celestia's hide doesn't seem to emit a light of her own. Because of that, Autumn continues to march beside her, with confidence and resolve. So, Celestia's hair and body is literally the staff of Gandalf. All of which would have been far more challenging in this utterly unbroken place, but this pillar of light they have beside them most of their spirits. I mean, if you think over that, a unicorn's horn is the staff, so we are not that far away.
Something like that, although closer to a wand.
I mean, even if they needed it, they could just use almost. We have seen smaller unicorns use that spell as well.
Horn's about as tall as a baton.
Yes. So do we say that Swift use button pass? Ooh, you know what would be really boosting thing? If Vidya had the other part of his horn around his neck as a necklace.
That would be a feat, considering he's a Pegasus.
Yeah, but I mean Swiftfoot's horn would be
Swift, yeah,
around.
that's right.
Because he has a
alright.
broken horn.
Right.
Let's show that I have it. We also know we came in the right purpose, which is yet needed here. That too, which I understand. At first, I could have never seen the Galvizia himself. The tool stands out well enough with all the gold and inlaid jewels that it has. But our eyes truly needs more time to adjust, so we can make out the shadowy silhouette of the dispatcher. When I am finally able to accomplish that, which is assisted by the fact we draw closer to him with each step, I behold that which I expect the most at first. I see him sitting on the throne, with his paws draped over the arms of the throne. He is apparently brooding. Is it like sleeping or something?
Do you mean brooding?
Yeah.
No, it's more like dour attitude. Kind of contemplative in a almost angry kind of way.
I had the feeling that he had no trouble spotting the rest of us, I mean, yeah, you are coming from the light. For that, I used to live in
Right.
the darkness. I mean, yeah, but then if his eyes are adjusted to the darkness, then he might not see who the rest of you are. He might see a celestial, and all the others might be just shadows for him.
Or have a especially hard time seeing Celestia. If your eyes are really adjusted to the darkness, then it hurts to look at the light, and she's causing it.
I mean, not seeing, but knowing that it's celestial.
Certainly aware of her presence for sure, yes.
The others might just be poorly shaped shadows.
Yep.
But is to a supernatural degree. However, as more light gathers space into the room, our visual acuity gradually reverses. We get an easier time seeing what the special has to read. Maybe he is not even brooding, he just trying to see who you are. That's why it was missing.
Yeah, the brooding part was kind of a guess on Swift's part because you couldn't easily see Dispatcher there.
Yeah, he might be not that angry. He was like, who is that?
Yeah, lift his hoof above his eyes and all that.
There are a few bullies that I noticed, especially the usual visual attention linger on. This is one of them, but that is to be expected. Likewise, continuing one presents hold the visual attention for quite some time as well. He especially takes notice of the fact that none of the other guards are stopping the captain from this intrusion. If anything, they have joined the captain's side against the nation's oppressor. Oops, sorry. Actually, in the microphone.
Yeah, I heard that a little bit.
I find it strange that the tension did not linger on me for too long. The fact that I am in this police does not explain nothing, and that alone tells him volumes. He does narrow his eyes at me sadly and briefly, which conveys in the depth of hostile emotion towards me. But even how quickly he looks away from me tells me that he doesn't want to acknowledge my presence here, and almost strikes me as pure stubborn denial. Yeah, if I say that you are not here, then you are not here. Like when a child sees something terrifying and starts saying, "You are not here! You are not here!" However, when he dies fall upon Princess Oriana, I begin to go overboard by the intensity of his reaction. Especially considering some of the other police who are here. It would be funny if he jumps up and starts being carried away by heart and say, "Ah, my love, you are here, hi!" Literally like this.
Well, try some pictures of Spike when he looks at Rarity.
Of course, I wanted to bring the other one.
Spike is very aware of that floating sensation.
I imagine this one.
Not floating, but yes, the hearts are there. And I think there's even a few scenes where his eyes turn to hearts. Along
I mean,
with,
when he was not
Shirley.
poisoned as well.
Yeah.
One would think he would consider the other princess to be the most imposing and threatening to him personally, but no. He eyes Princess Ariana with intense shock for a moment, showing enough to send note, even while he eyes in the darkness. in his darkness.
Mm-hmm.
The secondary reaction we notice actually seems to shift into shame. Instead of she is witnessing something right now that he was trying to desperately to hide from her. I mean, yeah, he can't hide the shady business that he is doing with the symbiote and the mud. Unless it's the throne room itself or the general state of the nation, those things should have been clear to her long ago, and he would know that. He would know that. Nevertheless, there is something here he was trying to hide, and for some reason, he cares about that more than any other in here right now. This alone gets into the dynamics of this encounter. For me, for once, it seems that Princess Aya's presence here has shifted his attitude so much that he might surrender peacefully on the spot. He turns his face to look away from her and then to say, "Please don't look at me, not you, I didn't probably about you." I mean, yeah. If you know you have done something wrong, something that your love of your life would not acknowledge of, then obviously you would be ashamed.
Yeah.
Of the corner of my eye, I get visual feedback, which my hearing also verifies. And that is the fact that everyone in here, without exception, was from one. Only I was caught off guard by this special reaction to Princess Ariaza. It is not on me that they have the same reaction as I do, for the same reason. He also expected several other ponies to evoke a more intense reaction, other than one pony in a pony, who has been in this place the longest. What is it about the present situation that has dramatically changed in his eyes? My wife has been around the longest, and she's a very sharp pony. I mean, if Princess Ariaza has been locked away in her room, not coming out when the visitor asks for her, then of course he would be surprised to come.
Possible, but unlikely. Well, when Swifthoof came to this palace recently, he didn't even have to unlock the door. He could have. He had the sonic screwdriver, but he was just able to immediately open the door. He still suspected it was capable of locking, and it might even be possible for it to be armed with magical traps, considering what it was trying to guard.
Yeah, I didn't mean in the physical sense locked away. I think that visitor and that moment he would be like, he didn't invite me in, so I'm not going in. Kind of locked away. So it is because he loves her. We know that.
Yeah.
He wouldn't do something that he wouldn't like other than the other thing that he is doing already.
That description is trying to make that even more clear. Now, the readers of the story had been tipped off to that earlier, but this is new to the protagonist that entered the room.
Yeah?
For the most part. I mean, the doctor was informed by the master about this.
And this is literally the only thing that I cannot say anything bad about the here at that moment, because love versus mysterious ways. And you can't tell yourself who to love, who not, because your mind can tell that, oh no, I can't love that one because they already have someone. If you love someone, you love someone. You can stop yourself with your mind and brain that, okay, I'm not gonna try doing anything, but your heart will still love it.
Yeah, and it makes him more dynamic too, instead of some mustache twirling archetype.
And we know he had a symbiote whispering in his ear that, oh, what if there is if the other guy is gone, then you can do whatever you want, right?
Symbiote was probably trying to suggest to turn her into a spawn so that he could control her better and also
Yeah.
keep her across time.
And literally, Lucia's ego is the only one that won at that moment.
Yeah.
So I
It's
can.
kind of, at least when it comes to her, his ego's fighting back against the symbiote.
So it's funny that I'm actually respecting Lucia at this moment. Lucia, not the teammate.
Right.
For all we know, the Lucia on himself might be just an upcoming season. He might have been a normal pony. He might not even be evil without the symbiote.
Right.
I imagine that they struck a deal in the beginning, but what if the symbiote actually just took over the body and controlling him every other sense than Hereditary Assault? We don't know
Yeah.
the ins and outs of how it went through, unless you actually show me a backstory, but we will see if there is a thing or not.
According to the doctor, the symbiote has an easier time controlling hosts that is dumber than itself. But if the
Navicia is
host,
not dumb.
yeah, but if the host is smarter, that's a catch-22. It makes them easier for them to control their own body, but at the same time, their enhanced intelligence is evolving the symbiote. The next time it possesses another host, it's even smarter than it was before. So it's harder and harder for the future host to maintain control.
Now, once again, this is gonna be the problem that I imagine that the symbiote actually has his own their own plan of getting out of the Navicia at the last second and taking over either Princess Celestia, Doctor, or Sith Hope. You know, they are much more smarter than Navicia himself.
He might at least want them to be spawns, but if they can see any trait among them that would evolve itself, then yeah, I'd be very much interested in them.
I mean, the Doctor is definitely one of them who would evolve the symbiote.
Could, but that's only if the symbiote recognizes that particular trait. At the moment, it probably does not recognize him as a Time Lord at all. That and the Master.
And also, we are going with the same thing that they cannot be even a cool, probably because of the two hearts. So maybe the symbiote won't even work on the Doctor.
Maybe not, but imagine if it succeeded. After that, it would start making its plans like a super genius.
Yeah. So it will stand out to her far more than it would to any other pony. He just gets his things, and he should know that. So there must be something specific to this encounter that has never happened here before. Like, yeah, it sounds like the princess has never came to the throne room on her own anymore.
If she did, there's something new about this particular encounter that he didn't want her to notice.
Something he would want to hide. That is very odd. The symbiote within him is getting tested by Princess Celestia the most. The sunlight is its bane. He'll be afraid of her, because she doesn't just have recent areas to engage, but in real life too. The teacher is genetically immortal too, so unknowing and keeps winning upon the living, it has every time to lose against her. So they just up the stakes of this encounter. The more I think about it, the more I realize it is me. I have been here before too, but it was before this treachery. By standing here, it remains to him that my life is in the road to now. I guess there are certain aspects about that I think that's what they wanted to keep hidden. I mean, the next person definitely know that he is alive.
Right, but Arielza was not supposed to know that.
Yeah.
According to Dispatcher, that is.
For that, I am not surprised that this person overlooked the doctor completely. I mean, he looks like a normal Osprey.
Yeah.
Doctor could have been considered the greatest threat among us. If it weren't for the broad stallion obscurity and passion, and the feeling that the doctor personally welcomed that reaction, it affords him a strategic advantage. Also, it's funny, sometimes I imagine the doctor doing like, saying that when they are asking him, oh, do you have a weapon? Oh yes, I do, my screwdriver. And then it turned into a lightsaber.
Okay.
I mean, if you think about that, it could if he changed the frequency.
But a sonic saber, you can't see it, but if it strikes within, I don't know, a few 48 inches on top of the sonic screwdriver, it starts slicing through things because of sonic vibrational waves.
Yeah, except if it's wood.
Right.
The word I like acquired from him also confirmed the fact that he's also capitalized on that before. About the only thing that has a chance to capture this person's attention to one story right now is the unusual and unfamiliar device the doctor is wielding. But nope. Ever since the media noticed my wife standing among us, I think he asks is the matter to him anymore. I believe you know why we have come. This is not the class boldly by holding imposing signs. You have eyes and enough to see that. Your days of taking the honor of this nation has come to an end, fiend. Surrender, and we may yet show you mercy. For some odd reason, such as bold declaration, knows that push out of his stupor. But it has exposure to the sampling test to fit it somewhat.
Mhm.
His face looks bored, and if he regards her as a minuscule threat. I mean, in a sense, Celestia is less of a threat right now than Oriazo. Oriazo is the one that makes Lydia not do the things that the Symbiote wants to do.
Like the true kryptonite.
Yeah. The section of his actually puts me back on edge again. In what way did he prepare himself enough to be confident against the one pony? He should go to the gate and said.
That's neat sounding music. Reminds me of an aquatic temple.
Let's find some.
That one sounded okay. The song doesn't have to be too active. They're not fighting yet or anything like that.
Yeah, this is fine for now.
You were done with that paragraph.
Yeah. I didn't expect the long piano run. I suppose that he gets it out. The picture announces fairly quietly. The camera acoustic of this room is probably the only reason, and yet what's called that. And the doctor has been providing some audible boosting of his own. That is interesting. Especially as he moves in front of his muzzle, and leans for one of it. But the circumstances being as if they are, it certainly would adjust my energy going forward. Strategy, you say? Dr. S was interested in his own voice. Since he spoke next, that awarded this special attention for the first time in this encounter. I agree, and this is interesting, but I think we haven't revealed all of our cards here yet. Yeah, you have a joker. Just because our attention to these things so far, there is something else we would ask you to notice as well. Before you reveal your own trump card, you might want to take a peek for a while. Let's talk about facing it, and Aries is very curious about, and he calls back. Observe! It into a lightsaber. And the device carries gets more noisy. The shutters on the windows above must suffer for some reason. Based on my own knowledge of the device, I'm guessing that it is caused by the vibration. That is producing up there. The result of this is surprisingly clear of sunlight shooting through the now open window. Not only in the light unusually bright, but it is unusually focused too. Let's show colorful light aimed at this picture specifically. I quickly noticed that the light is way too tiny to be natural. So I focused my sight out to the open window again, because there remains a large curved mirror being held up by several celestial pairs of gloves. Ha! But that is not the sunlight. And also the VCR can reveal that, you fools! You think that I am weak to sunlight? No. The symbiote might be, but I am phony. I widened my eyes in surprise when I noticed that. After that, I really calculated that there are probably several more mirrors. They placed out there to identify with the left of the sunlight outside. It would be funny if the weather pulls out another mirror behind him and... There! I gave your sunlight back. Now you can see.
He could probably do fine with a black umbrella, too. I've seen Marceline do that in Adventure Time.
Yeah? I mean, a lot of vampires did that. Consider the Princess Celestia's presence here as well. I can't even the possibility that she might have slowed the sun's descent this time, or the wise found a way to intensify the sun's remaining light somehow. Wow! I knew the doctor can slap his adventures. Well, what's he understand the situation he is in? For if he has enough time to plan and prepare, but it is still a power to witness for too. As a result of all of this, the special heating and not his best to hide his pain. But it is too intense right now to hide it completely. And then, in the background mirage is like, wow! This is like me! He writes in obvious discomfort. But there is another aspect to the situation that hangs in the back of our minds while this happens. It reminds me of Thorax in the beginning. In the very beginning when they met him.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, the teaching is involuntary. I can't do anything about that.
I,
For all the advantages the Symbiote can grant, it may not amount to anything. What is this hidden by one of its most critical weaknesses? In the sunlight, and the very focus one and that right now, it may mean that all of his advantages are instantly cut off. But not only that, but he is now actually weaker than any ordinary mortal opponent here. Even a youngling might have a chance to kick his flank at this point. All of this remains a very clear message to him. His secret is out. His most dangerous foe is before him. His own gods have turned on him. And now, the Symbiote's own weakness has inadvertently caused it to betray him too. He is surrounded in every possible way that matters, and that is the point Doctor was trying to make with him. With all of this combined, we can adjust the negotiating tactics going forward. Doctor wants this patient to know that the conversation will shall continue, with the most leverage on the side of his opponent. With all that in mind, maybe Doctor has a greater chance to steer this negotiation in a peaceful direction. And so the sunlight is not directly bothering him. Because if it was just a vampire or a vampony, then they would die immediately.
right.
It is just weakening him.
Yep.
I see it. Dr. said as he slowly turns about face to the picture again. We really have your attention now. Who in doctors are you? This person says to say it in a shocked, angry, but also pained voice. Me? Doctor asked as he moved the gesture to himself. I am the Doctor. I am the last of the Time Lords, and more importantly, I am the one who has sworn to protect his bodies from any threat that endangers their lives, or the sanctity of their harmless innocence. And you, sir, have chosen to ally yourself with a force that does not belong in this world. I like the fact that he is trying to visit her as if he was a separate pony from the Symbiote, which he is at the moment.
Yep.
Because of that, I am the inevitable counter force that has returned to thwart this unnatural threat. So I repeat, I am the Doctor. You know what would sound like the Doctor? In the video I would say that, Doctor, help me, there's a symbiote in me and I can't do anything about it. It forced itself into me and I can't take it out. And it's trying to force me into doing bad things. I mean, once again, we don't know if he is actually working with the symbiote or not.
This situation so far is probably very similar to Stygian and the Pony of Shadows.
Yeah.
And by that, Stygian was willing to take in the Pony of Shadows, but he also had some different viewpoints too. And that's how I was able to be convinced to turn away from it.
There is still a chance. For me here.
Yeah.
For one here is of his foes. And balances on the entire rules in order to give a grand sweeping gesture outward as he has. Behold, my medicine. Doctor, eh? This man goes spitefully. Trust me, I will remember that name. And not if you die. Not that it will do much good after this. Almost the same. Let's let the moment is boldly. For your reign of terror ends here, Finn. was innocent the police. Well, let's know more. I mean, oh, I literally found out that we cannot kill you, so I'm gonna put you into the sun. I'm
She
gonna
said
make you.
lands. She says lands in a plural tense too, meaning she's referring to her lands as well as Saddle Arabia. She sees him a threat both ways.
I mean, he isn't that.
Yeah.
If he gains enough following,
Yep.
just like another shadow pony, right? Mr. Crystal. And what say you? Especially Chinese as he looks at me squarely. Do you think I'm cornered completely? I didn't expect his attention to shift to me all of a sudden. So I made decided to put moisture back in my toes and find the door of my mind. To his question, I eventually answer. Seems to me where I'm standing, but you have employed various things before. I want you to know that I'm aware of that, and I am not underestimating you, no matter how concerned you may seem for the moment. And no, he doesn't seem concerned as well. I feel sharply and everybody else, here as I am. I suggest the rest of you all keep that in mind too. Also, yeah, if you corner someone, they become more dangerous to begin with.
That's basically what he said right there.
Oh, I have. Trust me. Doctor, I shall confidently. Why is it I know that there is one more wild card he has yet to pay? But it shall not weigh him as much as they think. We will see about that. Especially in Spike Ranger. You get a ghost. Do your thing. He comes out and shows the sunlight to the media. And so the curtain rises on the stage play, to make room for one final performer. And that is Tommy Pony wearing the mask of a Killing Ghost in the most movie announcer voice and
Yeah.
he raised himself from behind the throne. Most sight of him, I shook up, startled. That is the very same creature that I witnessed Martin bullet into the wall pain. Only now, he is actually talking, and seems a bit more ordinary than he appeared last time. Then, there's a nebulous swagger to his entrance, and I cannot deny. Until suddenly, he was content to hide. But now that the spotlight is figuratively, and certainly not literally, on him, he seems to enjoy that action. I almost expect him to give a kind of same bow, and he does. We meet again, together meet Colin, while the look of deep cutting takes him to his eyes. It's reassuring for me to see, because it signifies that his encounter is indeed expected to the doctor after all. But I still have no way to know what direction this is going now. I mean, even the doctor might not know what direction this is going now because it is a wild card.
Right.
In a curious way, it also comforts me slightly to see everybody else tonight. That in turn has to assure me that I am not alone in my feeling. I do, indeed. The goes again as he stamps his cane down upon the ground, because an audible pang. The performance has begun, and we have played our own part as well. You and I. And now my mind played, we played our parts So, go see.
I'm going to the bathroom real quick, but rest assured I can still hear you. I'll also have
Okay.
this mute until I come back, okay?
I mean, we are probably around the edge. They say some more. But yeah. The first thing into this person's eyes, I think they did at least lost a lie in show. I see us. What? You actually know this body? I told you that before. It goes in mind. As he stood the edge of his sleeping mask, closer to the couple with him beside him. He and I go way back, in fact. It was a dark chuckle before he goes on to say. But you, whose past encounters have not been the best of terms. It has been rather hostile more often than not, in fact. To recall, though there is an occasional exception, and sometimes I enjoy those times the best. But the Doctor and I are on the same page. We can make an unstoppable duo. Case in point. The getting goes fair enough, as he then turns to him always gain into the special. But that happens, that's the was here and another more quick. Oh. You might not see this, but I'm bringing this up. I can find it. I mean, that is actually funny how we are going back to the acting who was hiring them. But who was torturing, and his skin is gone. At the same time, this person bothered George for some reason. At this point, it becomes evident to me, and maybe most of his police as well, especially the brightest and most observant ones here, that the getting ghost has injected something into this person's body. Yeah, this person asking another shock. You betray me too? But you had so much to gain from me. It does not seem to be an ongoing theme of the training day, so it seems. It goes again. But at least it's never to the event. Since the momentum has carried us this far, however, I feel it's best to ride it out to a natural conclusion. After saying that, this misses and dominant formulation up to finally pull off his getting gross back. After that, I'm surprised how ordinary he can appear. But I still having a no gravitas about him, which gives me an edge. Getting about another, it's clear that I am not the only one to feel that way either. Only the doctor seems to be the one that's surprised here. You may all call me Goshawk, Goshawk and I am, indeed, the last time call of this encounter to be revealed that matters. There's no one else in describing me and the wild card as well, but such a thing can take many forms as needed. In my core, I have always had a certain inherent nature in me, and I live for a moment like this. Roger leans on his cane more and bows his head to be closer to the still riding this picture on the ground, and the sound of Polly goes on to say, I will admit your offer was a bit tempting, but not nearly as much as you might think, for you see, there's a nice share of similar heritage. Enough to ensure we are much less mortal than we outwardly appear. We are the community of invulnerable, of course, but it is enough to say with confidence that we have shall I say, leg up over most average police. He took us lightly, and goes on to say, besides which, I bow to no pony, and no pony alive or dead, that shall willingly induce me to take a knee, for I am the master of my own destiny. All those who dare to mistake that fact shall lie dead at my hold. So, when you come back you can answer me, did the master not have a wife? A normal wife who he loves? I mean, we know he has a daughter in this scenario, but in the actual show. Gosh hadn't lifted his cane up once again, and set him back down. Only this time, he nodded indirectly into this special body. This special howled in pain, like Gosh had coolly twisted his shoulder weapon. This special fight to compose himself. Gosh admit, rest in pain, Mr. Ed. Ed? That must be a reference I don't know about. Yeah, I don't know about this here. It has been playing a long time ago. If you are referencing this. Enough of this. This, please. But a bit. Cannot enjoying me holding this. You are the one who invited me. Nothing reminds as he turned back to the doctor while taking the dispatcher by his loud at the same time, hearing that it came from him. Too late to complain about it now when you know full well how I am afraid. After getting his way to join us by continuing his monologue. And you know that precisely why you invited me? He asked in front of me, in a teasing voice. To do what you cannot? To murder? To kill? He said with utter excitement. That is not the style of the doctor now, is it? Or that does not remove the occasional necessity from time to time. If it has to be done, better the dirty rooms that are all in the body. So what's the matter, in fact? For I won't lose any sleep over this.
All right, hold on. I'd like to first of all announce the fact that I've been back, and secondly, very, very long time ago, I realized the possibility that you would not recognize Mr. Ed. I could probably point that out when we're done with the recording better, but it is a very old television show that was in America, and I don't think it was even in color when it first came out.
I
But
mean,
it
I
was
need full up pictures.
it involved a sitcom show about a talking horse.
Oh,
named Mr.
the
Ed.
horse wasn't dead. I thought it was the guy.
No,
And I might have seen some scenes of it, but not the actual show. And if you go back, when I literally told you that at this moment, Kasha was literally playing a torch trick.
oh yeah, I saw that. Um, the thing I remember about the Mr. Ed show the most is probably the opening. It's kind of an earworm.
Ah, Is any of this true? It is as a doctor with a exploding crown. I mean, we don't know if he actually killed or injected him with something that can kill him. For all we know, that his might is invincible, right? Or
Eh,
immortal. Or invincible.
well, yes, yes. It can be killed, so it's not invincible, but it's genetically immortal as long as it keeps feeding.
Ah! My mom is leaving soon. She's going to the cemetery.
By the way, didn't Professor Ozpin also have a cane weapon?
Yeah, but it was not a gun. He was mostly using it as a magical staff.
Okay.
My robot was literally doing the clicking sound.
Hmm.
I would prefer if we discuss the details of this later. The doctor replied. Until then, that emotions can lead to their own problem with misunderstanding, and I want the truth to be clear. The time is right. I mean, for all we know, he might have just injected him with muscle relaxant. That's all. I mean, that can kill as well, but it doesn't have to be killing.
Well, we don't know what it is, but the Master's not likely to be merciful, as the Doctor.
Yeah? But also, he's a white card, so
Mm-hmm. He said so himself.
he can be a double negative.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's true, but this whole situation suddenly clicks into place for me. There are certain elements about the Doctor's past that I had more which had to explain after that situation. Many times with the Doctor's past, he had one nemesis, which he had often had a face-to-face with. In the vast majority of the time, the other individual had a humanoid form too. The person was none other than the nefarious version of a fellow Time Lord. An individual who referred himself as the Master. Funny enough, I have never heard the saying Master exterminate. But I think the Daleks actually believe that the Doctor is the last one.
Not that this hasn't happened, but I don't recall them cooperating either. The
No,
Daleks and the Master, that is.
I mean the Master, not like the Daleks either.
Oh, definitely now, after everything he suffered through in the Time War. But earlier in the show, I'm not sure. It seems to me, just from guessing from both characters, the Daleks and the Master, they might actually pretend to cooperate with each other while secretly plotting to betray each other.
I believe the Master would not even try to uh, fake cooperating with the Daleks. No.
Dep- Depends what he has to gain from them.
And I think the Daleks are not doing the same either. Okay. I face hope I grown, and I realized that the individual thermometer is in the Poly universe too. At least, in this case, Doctor is aware of it, and keeping an eye on this is ancient enemy. Between all of the various doctors that they have had between them, it is comforting to me to know that the Doctor usually had the upper hand between them and the Emperor. And you only know the term hand because of the Doctor, not voice.
Right.
Curiously enough, they seem to be cooperating with each other in this mission, even though it also appears that they don't seem completely eye to eye. Oh, this is of it. Yeah, the monster was more to the point, and justified the means type of guy.
Yep.
Everything other doctor's memories that I'm aware of, the effort to find an explanation for at least one aspect that stands out of all of them, despite all of their many fights. Is a clear sign of affection that they also have for each other. Because of that, both sides often try to coerce the other to join each other. I almost made the joke now kids, but then they actually do, right? When when he becomes Missy.
Yep. Missy assaulted the doctor with a kiss.
Yeah, I was like, wait, that actually happened.
That after slapping him.
I mean, no. For some reason, they found the tiniest agreement with each other for this particular mission. Or I say, and this nagging feeling that they are more secretly trying to outdo the other, somehow at the same time. I mean, yes, they are. With all of that said, although the car shark as he is lost, let's face about the feeling of surviving this pressure. His failure is complete. Oh my god, I have a dreading feeling that the symbiote isn't in him anymore.
Hmm. Well, you'll have to remember you said that. Go ahead and continue.
That would mean he didn't give me any of his storm cards. It basically seems to agree with that sentiment too. The movement seems to suddenly relax, and his mood collapses into despair. He really seems to have suddenly just given up, but so clearly has covered all of his bases. With the remainder of this adventure all too well, and especially finally realizing that. Yeah, the doctor is going up and saying that all your bases are belong to us.
Exactly. No, actually, it's the master would more likely make a comment like that.
Yeah. No, it would be the doctor because he's more like to reference stupid things. Then, unexpectedly, my wife moves to comfort him. This for sure.
Yeah.
At first, it
Comfort that.
mystifies me, but then I recall the reaction to her earlier. There's no doubt in my mind that my wife noticed that too. But unlike me, she might have a good idea why all of that was so. I mean, that would be the ultimate trump card if the symbiote was in Oriental.
Ooh.
I don't think that's it, but that would be the ultimate trump card.
Depending on the angle that she stands over him, she might also blanket him in shadow from the sunlight back there.
But we know that they came from outside.
Mm.
So none of them are actually the ones. But they are getting close to someone who is writing in pain, and we know that symbiote is in there, and they might try to escape into another body. If it's still in there. Now that I think about it, that has not come to mind. I don't know why it didn't occur to me sooner. Maybe my own pain and rage minded me, but every other reaction he ever had to my wife strongly indicates another layer of motivation for him, beyond the lust for pure power. Had that always been the case, he should have enslaved my wife long ago, as a spawn of the symbiote. I mean, once again, that would be the ultimate trump card if the Vizier was a spawn as well, and Oriaza is the symbiote. More than likely, the entity within him actually encouraged this. My wife is a key political figure in the organization after all. And yet, Casey took again that plan for some reason. He ended in a narrative position. Why? Does it fight against the powerful and corrupting instinct of the same mind? Which my experience with the brass spear didn't ask to. There has to be an extremely powerful motive to successfully resistance. High in their mind, I can only think of one that makes sense. For some reason, I can only explain why he wanted me out of the way. I mean, no, there are much more powerful magic than anything else. Friendship and love, right?
I'd say those two categories are very related.
And that was my last sip of coffee.
Friendship is a form of love.
I mean, yeah. And some people do not see the difference between them. Indeed, he was jealous of me, but it is for more dynamic reason than lust for power on its own. That was true too, and there is no doubt in my mind that he might try to capitalize on this Mr. Instinct. But when it comes to business areas up, there was other drive in his heart. And you said to me, they explained everything. I really did, and truly love her. And I watched my wife kindly bending down and brushing a hoof across his cheek towards him. Well, that was my mind spot ahead of time. For once, to see two possible futures that would have occurred if the hero of the adventure had never intervened. I see those paths because I know, now, that there were actually two goals this person had in mind and heart, and they were incompatible with each other. On one hoof, it was his lust for power in this nation, and perhaps even the whole world. And on the other was his lust for my life. No. I mean, that's lust as well. The reason these two roles were incompatible is because of the pastoral feeling of my wife. If he truly wanted to love him too, then either he would have to change, or she would. To do that, he would have to give in to his ambition, and corrupt her as a spawn of the same mind. It happened, he could control her outright, and then include casting her forcefully down the dark path. I mean, that has happened in many other stories when the one had the power to mind control, and they didn't mind control the one that they loved. Because that wouldn't be love.
Right.
What if love won out? Then it is he who would have to change. To stand any chance of winning the affection of a man as compassionate as she. To do that, he would undoubtedly have to give up his pursuit of that power. Moreover, he would have to go past his crimes and do everything he could to make up for them. All the while, he would desperately fighting against the scheming instinct of the symbiote within him. And after he would accept that he is mad, he would gain his persona.
Right.
Ultimately, that would have resulted in one of two things. Either he would have to entirely reject the same mind and expel it from the system somehow, which is not really possible, or that proved impossible, then I think he would outright kill himself just to ensure it does not harm the one that he loves. If it is indeed love within him that is bright and true, then the only possible ending I can see for this story. But then also me, I suddenly realized that this picture and I had one important thing in common after all. We both loved her, but she chose me, so in his mind, he just wanted to become the opponent. When all of that clicks into place, I realized that I have sympathy for him too. I still do not like what he did to me or my nation, but if true love was his guiding principle with her at least, then the two of us can agree on at least one thing. That one thing provided some glow of hope for my future too. But more likely, it still would have ended infinitely. Like it or not, he still his fate when he agreed to be the host of his wicked symbiote.
Which does seem to be the case in this case, but the doctor had pointed out the symbiote can infect unwilling hosts too. And that's one of the differences between that and a symbiote.
There you go.
That guy has a pointy nose.
He is the Teddy Clown. He is the visitor.
Think you were done with that paragraph?
Yeah, I was.
Okay.
Number 4, this picture goes out weekly. And he knows I don't see my wife looking back at me too. So I beg me to do what I can to go for him in the last moment. I cannot deny her. For my own reason, I want to do this anyway now. I am here! I tell him my approach, and I kneel over him. I know I have no right to ask anything of you, but if you will endure me one last request. This person asked me hopefully. I am listening, I reply. Make her happy. Even briefly. Keep her happy. You do that, and we are good. It seems to me that even before they arrived, he had already won. Also, it seems too easy. I smile bittersweetly and I tell him, I would gladly do that anyway, but I will remember that effort for your sake as well. If I may ask one thing in turn, though. It is merely a little curious eyebrow at me to imply I have a intention in regard to his request. I shake my head, and I declare, I don't like fighting, and I don't want enemies. In my eyes, this should have never been. I must have trusted you quite a bit to appoint you to my most trusted advisor in the first place. I say the next time we meet again, let me true friends from then on. Remember, you have 2 time lots on your side. You can go back and stop the symbiote even to me taking over.
And unlike the majority of the ponies in the room, Swifthoof, aka Nanpor, is aware of that.
Yeah. This picture regards my wife lovingly for a moment before looking back at me, really saying, "Great." With that, he closes his eyes for the last time. Once again, this seems too easy. For an immortal being who has the power to stop them, kill them with one twist of his hoof, just that. He was, all he was doing was sitting there menacingly. And then,
Yeah, I will say that even when I wrote it, I was thinking for the main climax of the chapter, it's pretty anticlimactic. Um, and I was also surprised how little influence Swifthoof himself had in this chapter. And it, I will say too, this is the last chapter that's going to focus on Swifthoof's perspective, so which
I
makes it even
have
more
to
surprising.
disagree.
But it occurred to me earlier that Swifthoof did have a strong influence on this chapter prior to this chapter, and because there's a lot he did. He invited the Doctor and cooperated with him. He gave permission for Princess Celestia to stay and help him in his nation. He got Princess Arielza involved, and she was a major factor in this encounter. I mean, probably the primary reason he really didn't go on the offense. Uh, and he even kind of influenced the Master without knowing it, because of what he did was change some of the Master's plans too. Because he was originally going to kidnap Celestia and bring him to Dispatcher in order to prove his quote unquote loyalty to the Grand Vizier, but that didn't happen.
But yeah, another thing, I have to disagree. Him being there, right next to Ariazo, is the reason why they won.
Right. Because if he wasn't there, he would have maybe been a little more offensive. But the fact he was standing there means he knows Princess Arielza is aware of the truth.
Yeah.
But there's other things too. I mean, the sunlight did kind of pin him down. The grinning ghost was not as loyal as he thought, and some of the reasons for that he was not aware of. Like, the master could live a lot longer than a typical pony, and Dispatcher was not aware of that. So he thought that the grinning ghost really did have something to gain from the partnership.
Yeah, this is not the final move in the whole game. That's for sure.
You might be right. Maybe there's
Even,
something else that the trick that the Sinbite might have.
I mean, even if they won, they are definitely going back in time and trying to fix the whole thing before it happens.
Uh, could, if that's not screwing with timey-wimey stuff or fixed
I
fault
mean,
lines and all that.
we know the Doctor goes back and gets the brass sphere for some reason.
Hmm?
I mean, this might be the solution. This is why it was
Okay,
so
but
easy. Wait, yeah, this
that
is
was
why it was so easy, because they didn't have the brass sphere with them.
right. That's something else that Swifthoof accomplished. He managed to give the brass sphere to some version of the Doctor, and more importantly, away from Dispatcher's hooves.
That might have been from another timeline where they lost. Maybe even
Oh yeah,
Nampo died, or even worse, Orietta died, and this special became enraged and killed everybody else.
for him to attack her means that for some
No,
reason the Sinbite took over him.
I mean, no, Orietta died somehow in the
Oh,
meantime.
okay.
Not mean that he killed him. He killed her, but that will definitely drive him into rage and let the Symbiote go berserk.
Yeah, yeah. He would not hold back if that happened. Out of pure grief and rage, yes, he'd just really go all out.
I mean, we can just make it so that maybe the Sphere went out of control and just sucked in Oriazo as a black hole.
Yeah, that would be the worst case scenario. Is if in his grief and rage he used the brass sphere to basically annihilate everything in the solar system.
Yeah. But this was, we still know, also, if, Lucia is dead or not. He closed his eyes for the last time, yes. That might actually mean that he cannot close his eyes, but he can open it.
Right. So yeah, this arc is coming to a close, so might not be too surprising when I tell you this is the last chapter that focuses on Swifthoof's perspective, but it's not done.
Yeah, we are
There's,
definitely
I think,
going back in time with the Doctor.
I think there was like two more chapters. I think that's left in this arc.
Yeah. And that music right now, we can't play. For obvious reasons.
Sure, but we could play it after we're done with the
Yeah.
session.
I mean,
And I guess
I mean, I probably know what it is.
I also encourage you to play the opening song to the show, Mr. Ed. Just I'm curious how familiar you'll be with it.
I mean, I will after this, just to be sure.
Sure, sure.
But yeah, for now, thank you everyone for watching. We will see when we are going, how far we are going back in time next time. Because there is too much to be done here.
Hmm. They dealt with the main public bad guy that they were aware of, but there's still some loose ends to tie up.
A lot of loose ends.
In fact, that's exactly what this first sentence of the author's note says right there.
Yeah. There's a few loose ends. There's a lot of loose ends. But yeah. Next time it is gonna be
4 days?
I think yes.
Okay. Thank you for reading.
Thank you for being here. And see you in the next daily session. Bye bye.
Bye.
That's not the one. Hi. Hi again.
3, 4, I think it's that. I'm not miss my calculations. 3 days and 22 hours from now. 11 minutes. Okay.